There are moments in life when we feel invisible, overlooked, forgotten, maybe even abandoned. We wonder if anyone truly sees what we're going through, if anyone understands the tears we cry when the lights go out and no one else is around. But I want to remind you today, with everything in me, God sees you, not just the version you show to others. He sees the real you, the hurting you, the striving you, the faithful you, the tired, the courageous, the unseen, uncelebrated, often underestimated you. He sees your quiet sacrifices. He sees when you choose integrity over popularity. He sees when you stay up late praying for your family, when you go the extra mile for someone who doesn't even say thank you, when you're kind even though your heart is breaking. And he says, I see you, I'm with you, I will reward you. You are not forgotten. You are not invisible to the one who made you. In Genesis 16, Hagar, a servant girl cast out into the wilderness, felt hopeless and unseen. But the angel of the Lord came to her, and she called God El Roi, which means the God who sees me. If he saw Hagar, he sees you. If he cared for her in her loneliness, he will meet you in yours. You don't have to earn his attention. It's already yours. Before a word is on your tongue, he knows it. Before a tear rolls down your cheek, he's already counted it. When others overlook you, God calls you by name. When others forget you, God draws near. When others walk away, God steps in. So lift your head, stand tall. You are seen, you are known, you are loved. You are not walking through this world alone. He is watching over you with eyes of mercy, with a heart of compassion, and with hands ready to guide you. His eyes are on the sparrow, and surely they are on you too. The God who sees, El Roi. Genesis 16:13. There comes a moment in every life when we feel lost in the wilderness. Maybe you felt that way, cast aside, misunderstood, wandering through pain, rejection, or uncertainty, wondering if anyone notices your struggle. That's exactly where Hagar found herself in Genesis 6. A servant girl, used and mistreated, running her life. She wasn't a queen, she wasn't a prophet, she wasn't even free, and yet in her brokenness and fear, God found her. He met her not in a palace, but in the desert. Not when she was strong, but when she was desperate. And in that moment she gave God a name that still speaks today. El Roi, the God who sees me. There is something powerful about being seen. We don't just want to be noticed, we long to be known. Deep down, every heart cries out for someone to recognize our pain, understand our fears, and value our worth. The world is filled with people who feel invisible. The single mother working 2 jobs, the lonely teen trying to fit in, the elderly man whose phone never rings anymore, the believer who serves faithfully behind the scenes, but never hears thank you. To all of them, to all of us, God says, I see you. He doesn't just see you in the crowd. He sees into your heart. He sees what no one else can. He sees the tears you don't talk about. He sees the prayers you pray when no one else hears. He sees the battles you fight behind your smile. Others may look past you, but God never does. He sees you in the kitchen, in the office, in the hospital room, in the late night hours when fear creeps in. You are never out of his sight. And not only does God see, but he cares. When Hagar fled into the wilderness, she didn't expect help. She thought she was alone, but God had already gone ahead of her. He met her where she was. He called her by name. He gave her a promise. That's what El Roi does. He doesn't just watch from a distance. He enters the story. He speaks life into dry places. He offers direction where there's only confusion. He restores hope when everything feels lost. It's easy to believe God sees the strong, the successful, the spiritual giants. But Hagar reminds us that he also sees the hurting, the marginalized, the overlooked. And he doesn't just see you, he validates your experience. He calls you valuable when the world calls you disposable. He gives purpose to your pain. He reminds you that you matter to him. So when life feels overwhelming, when rejection stings, when loneliness settles in, remember this, El Roi sees you. You don't have to shout to be heard by him. You don't have to prove yourself to be known. You don't have to be perfect to be loved. Just as you are in the middle of your mess, he draws near. Hagar left that encounter with something more than comfort. She left with revelation that God doesn't just see a person, He sees me. And that same God is watching over you today. He's not blind to your situation. He's not deaf to your prayers. He's not distant from your pain. He is El Roi, the God who sees, the God who knows, the God who stays. Let that truth settle in your soul. You are not invisible. You are seen. You are loved. And you are held in the gaze of the one who never looks away. Unseen by men, rewarded by God. Matthew 6:4-6. There's something in the human heart that longs to be recognized. We want to know our efforts matter, that someone sees the work we put in, the love we pour out, the pain we quietly endure. But there are times, many times, when it feels like no one notices. The world doesn't clap for late nights spent praying, for the secret acts of kindness, for integrity kept when no one's watching. And yet Jesus, in Matthew 6:4-6, gives us a powerful promise. Your Father who sees in secret will reward you. This is the assurance we need in a world obsessed with applause. Jesus speaks directly to those who do good in silence, not for show but for the sake of love. When you give, when you fast, when you pray, not to be praised, not to be seen, but to honor God, He sees it. And not only does He see it, He promises to reward it. You may be unseen by men, but you are never unseen by your Father in heaven. Every quiet act of faithfulness matters. Every whispered prayer in the dark, every unnoticed sacrifice, every gentle word spoken when harshness would have been easier, every decision to walk in purity when temptation screamed loud, all of it is seen, all of it is counted, all of it is stored up in the heart of God. It's easy to be discouraged when your obedience seems to go unnoticed. When you serve behind the scenes while others get the spotlight. When you carry burdens no one thanks you for. When you stand for truth and feel isolated because of it. But remember this, God is not keeping score the way the world does. He's not impressed by public performance. He looks at the heart. He sees what's done in secret, and He will never it. Jesus warned about doing good just to be seen by others. He said if you seek applause from people, that's your reward. You've received it already. But if you want the reward that lasts, the reward that comes from heaven, then you do it for the eyes of one audience, one king, one Father who sees what no one else does and is moved by your love for Him. That means you can stop striving for the world's approval. You can stop wondering if what you do matters. It does. It all matters. Your life hidden in Christ, lived in quiet surrender, is more powerful than you know. God uses the unseen to shake the seen. He takes the prayers of the hidden and moves mountains with them. He uses the faithfulness of those the world ignores to shape eternity. So let your heart be encouraged. Keep doing good. Keep showing up. Keep praying. Keep giving. Keep walking in obedience. Not for recognition, but for relationship. Not for fame, but for faith. The reward may not come today. It may not come with likes, or followers, or plaques on the wall, but it will come. God Himself will reward you in ways this world can't even comprehend. And when that reward comes, whether in this life or the next, it will be worth it, because it will come from the one who truly knows you, truly sees you, and truly loves you. You don't need the spotlight to be significant. You don't need man's applause to be approved. You are already seen, already valued, already treasured by the God who watches in secret and rewards in glory. Even the sparrows are seen. Luke 12:6-7. In a world that measures worth by power, appearance, and success, it's easy to feel small, easy to feel like your life doesn't matter much, like you're just another face in the crowd. But in Luke 12:6-7, Jesus says something that cuts through all of that noise. He says, "Are not 5 sparrows sold for 2 pennies? Yet not one of them is forgotten by God. Indeed, the very hairs of your head are all numbered. Don't be afraid, you are worth more than many sparrows." What a statement. Sparrows were the cheapest of birds. So common, so seemingly insignificant, that people barely noticed them. They were sold for next to nothing in the marketplace. But Jesus said not one of them is forgotten by God. That means there is no such thing as a small life in the eyes of God. No person is overlooked. No soul is insignificant. Not you. He knows the number of hairs on your head. That's not a poetic metaphor. It's a declaration of his intimate knowledge of you. Think about it. How many times have you shed a hair today? You didn't count, but God did. He knows not just your name, not just your needs. He knows every detail. That's not just seeing you, that's cherishing you. When Jesus spoke those words, he wasn't addressing kings or religious leaders. He was speaking to ordinary people, people with worries, fears, families, and uncertain futures. He knew they felt pressure from the world, and he said, "Don't be afraid." He didn't say that because life would always be easy, but because they were deeply known and eternally loved by a God who watches even the sparrow. You may not feel seen right now. Maybe you're going through a season where your prayers feel like they're bouncing off the ceiling. Maybe you're working hard, loving faithfully, and no one seems to notice. But God notices. He hasn't turned his eyes away from you. His gaze is fixed on you with compassion and purpose. If he sees the sparrows, he sees you. If he remembers a bird worth half a penny, he hasn't forgotten you. No matter how forgotten you may feel. You may be fighting battles others don't see, crying tears no one else understands, walking through a valley alone. But you're not really alone. The God who watches over the sparrows walks beside you. Jesus wasn't trying to flatter his followers with flowery words. He was giving them unshakable truth to stand on. The world may not value what you do, may not understand who you are, but heaven does. Your life matters to God, not because of your status, but because of your soul. Not because of your achievements, but because of your identity as his beloved child. You are seen when you feel invisible. You are held when you feel dropped. You are treasured even when you feel like nothing special. The same God who paints the wings of birds and clothes the lilies in splendor has not missed a moment of your life. So take heart, lift your head. Even the sparrows are seen, and you, precious one, are worth more than many sparrows. You are deeply loved, intentionally created, and constantly watched over by a God who forgets none and forsakes none. Let that truth quiet your fears and strengthen your faith today. You are not forgotten. Isaiah 49:15-16. There are times when silence feels like abandonment, when prayers go unanswered, when loneliness creeps in, and when the weight of life presses down so heavily, it makes you wonder if God has forgotten you. It's a question many hearts whisper, but few dare to speak aloud. And into that very question, God speaks through Isaiah 49:15-16. Can a mother forget the baby at her breast and have no compassion on the child she has born? Though she may forget, I will not forget you. See, I have engraved you on the palms of my hands. Your walls are ever before me. What a powerful promise. God compares his faithfulness to the most tender relationship we know, that of a mother and her newborn child. A mother's bond is fierce, sacrificial, and deep. And yet God says, even if she could forget an almost unthinkable idea, I will not forget you. That means your identity is not wrapped up in your feelings, your failures, or the silence of your season. It is secured in the heart of a God who never forgets. Life may have tried to convince you otherwise. People may have walked away. Opportunities may have slipped through your hands. You may have gone unnoticed by the world, pushed aside, or even betrayed. But none of those things define your worth. God is not like man. He doesn't grow tired. He doesn't get distracted. He doesn't abandon his own. He says, I have engraved you on the palms of my hands. Not written in ink, not penciled in, engraved, cut deep, permanent, lasting. That's how God holds you in a place he sees constantly. In ancient times, slaves would often tattoo the names of their masters on their hands. But here the roles are reversed. The master has your name on his hands. The creator of the universe carries a reminder of you in a place that cannot be hid. Every time he moves, every act he takes, your name is before him. He hasn't forgotten. He never will. Even when you're wandering, he sees you. Even when your faith is weak, he remembers you. When you're stuck between where you were and where you're going, he hasn't lost sight of your purpose. He is not blind to your pain, nor is he deaf to your cries. He knows what you need, even when you can't find the words to ask. Some days you may feel buried under the weight of grief or disappointment. You may feel as if you've been skipped over, but God's promises still stand. The God who made the stars and knows them by name knows your name too. He hasn't forgotten the plans He spoke over your life. He hasn't forgotten the prayers you've prayed, even the ones that came through tears. He hasn't forgotten the seeds you've sown in faith. So today, cling to this unshakable truth. You are not forgotten, not by heaven, not by the one who matters most. The world may overlook you, but God never will. His love is relentless. His memory is perfect. His care is constant. You may feel hidden, but you are engraved. You may feel passed by, but your walls are always before Him. Rest in that promise. Walk in that truth. Let it steady your heart and lift your head. God has not forgotten you, and He never will. God's eye is on the journey. Psalm 121:8. Life is a journey filled with peaks and valleys, twists and turns, triumphs and trials, and sometimes the path can feel uncertain. We wonder if we're headed the right way. We question if we're alone. But Psalm 121:8 gives us a promise that anchors the soul. The Lord will watch over your coming and going, both now and forevermore. God's eye is not just on your destination. His eye is on the journey. From the moment you take your first breath to the very last step you'll ever walk, God is present. He's not just waiting at the finish line cheering you on. He's walking beside you in every step. When you rise in the morning and when you lie down at night, when you walk into unfamiliar territory, when you face decisions you don't know how to make, God sees. He watches over you not as a distant observer but as a loving Father. He sees your comings, the fresh beginnings, the new seasons, the unexpected doors that open. He sees your goings, the endings that hurt, the goodbyes that break your heart, the closed chapters that leave you wondering why. Through it all, His eye is steady, His heart is faithful. He watches over you not with suspicion, but with affection. There are no detours in your life that surprise God. He doesn't panic when you take a wrong turn. He doesn't abandon you when you stumble. Psalm 121 tells us He neither slumbers nor sleeps. That means even when you're exhausted, confused, or feeling forgotten, He is fully alert, fully aware, and fully engaged in your story. The journey won't always be easy. The road may be steep, and storms may rise, but you are never walking alone. You are never outside of His sight or beyond His reach. Even in your wandering, His grace pursues. Even in your delays, His purpose remains. The God who began a good work in you has promised to carry it to completion. He didn't bring you this far to leave you now, and His watch doesn't end. The verse says now and forevermore. That means today, tomorrow, and into eternity. He is your keeper, not just your guide but your guardian, not just your compass but your covering. The same God who watches over the sparrow watches over every mile of your path. He knows the dangers that lie ahead and the strength you'll need to overcome them. He knows the blessings you can't yet see and the burdens you're still carrying. So wherever you are in the journey, whether you're just beginning, deep in the struggle, or nearing the next step, lift your eyes to the hills. Your help doesn't come from your own strength or the world around you. It comes from the Lord, the maker of heaven and earth, who watches over every detail of your life with love. Take comfort in knowing that your journey matters to God. Not just your success, not just your arrival, but every step, every struggle, every silent prayer whispered along the way. His eye is on the journey, and His heart is with you in it. Known before you were born, Jeremiah 1:5. Before the world ever spoke your name, God already knew you. Before you took your first breath, before your parents ever held you, before you were shaped in the womb, He had already formed a plan for your life. In Jeremiah 1:5, God says, "Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. Before you were born, I set you apart. I appointed you as a prophet to the nations." These words weren't just for Jeremiah. They echo through time as a reminder that none of us is here by accident. God's knowledge of you is not casual, it's intimate. He didn't just see your birth date or your physical form. He knew your heart. He saw your personality, your potential, your struggles, your gift. He saw the tears you would cry, the mountains you would climb, the failures you would face, and the victories you would win. And still, he chose you. Still, he called you. Still, he said, I have set you apart. You were not mass-produced. You were handcrafted. Not one life is random. The God of the universe, the one who hung stars in the sky and carved out oceans, is the same God who knit you together with purpose. Every detail of your being, your voice, your laugh, your fingerprints, declares that you are fearfully and wonderfully made. You don't have fight for significance. You were born with it. Heaven knew your name before anyone else did. And more than that, he set you apart. That means your life has holy intention. You are not a copy of someone else's calling. You don't have to measure your worth by the world's standards or compare your path to another's. You were made for something only you can fulfill. There are things God wants to say, show, and do through you that no one else can replicate. You were made for this time, for this generation, with a divine assignment planted deep in your soul. Jeremiah was young when he heard this word from the Lord. Like many of us, he probably felt inadequate. He said, I do not know how to speak. I am too young. Maybe you've said something similar. I'm not ready. I'm not good enough. I'm too broken. I've failed too many times. But God didn't back down. He didn't say, you're right. He said, do not say, I am too young. You must go to everyone I send you to and say whatever I command you. When God calls, he equips. He's not looking for perfection. He's looking for surrender. He's not asking for flawless performance. He's asking for willing hearts. Your calling doesn't start when you feel ready. It started when he formed you, and his plans for you have not changed. Not because of your mistakes, not because of time, not because of fear. His word still stands. So when doubt whispers that your life doesn't matter, when fear says your best days are behind you, when failure tries to define you, remember this truth. You were known before you were born. You were seen, loved, and chosen by a God who knew exactly what he was doing when he created you. He hasn't forgotten the vision he had for you. He hasn't changed his mind about your worth. And he certainly hasn't given up on the purpose he placed in you. You don't need to earn his attention. You already have it. You don't need to create your calling. It's already written. You simply need to say yes. Say yes to the God who knows you fully and loves you completely. Say yes to the path he marked out before time began. Because you were not an afterthought. You were known, you were chosen, and you are still called.